Welcome to the From Burnout to Recovery show with your host, Dr. Kate. This is where your journey to burnout recovery starts. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like work has become unmanageable? Join me and my guests for open and honest conversations about burnout recovery from the comfort of the front porch. I am here to help you build your resilience and prepare you for burnout in a whole new way through a variety of perspectives. Move past the idea that burnout can only be addressed by avoidance and work to integrate recovery into your daily life. Relax, take a breath. The From Burnout to Recovery show starts now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the From Burnout to Recovery show with Dr. Kate on Transformation Talk Radio and member of the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group. I am your host, Dr. Kate, and I am excited to welcome you to the show today. Remember, as you are enjoying the show, I want you to hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kate Steiner on Instagram. Today, we are joined by our guest, Kathy Murphy, and I am really excited to hear more about her journey. She is a high-performance coach who has been leading others throughout her lifetime. As a former firefighter, peace officer, and CEO, she now helps high achievers who struggle with stress, overwhelm, and burnout so that they can have less stress, healthy lifestyles, better relationships, joy, peace, and fun on the way. With a combined social following of over 20,000, Yahoo Finance named Kathy one of the 10 most powerful women of 2021 and as one of the top 10 mentors of 2020. New York Weekly named Kathy as one of the top 20 people to follow on Instagram in 2020, and she has been featured on national TV and radio. Kathy, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Kate, and I am honored, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you today and with everyone listening. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So as we ask all of our guests, and to get us started, Kathy, if you would share a little bit about yourself, your own burnout experience, and your own journey to recovery.
Absolutely. So it was October 7th, 2012, and I walked into my office and found myself surrounded by armed men, telling me, put my hands in the air, don't move. From there, they took me to my condo, told me not to leave or more would happen to me. Well, I had seen this coming. I never dreamed of how it would go down. When we get hit by those things out of nowhere and we realize we just lost everything there was to life as we knew it, it's devastating. My purpose, my passion, which really was the only thing I had left in my life, I realized looking back, was then gone. I had to go to doctors because they still swore I should be dead. In the 9 years previous, working 15 to 20 out of 24 hours a day, sleeping only 4 hours a night because I was addicted to Ambien, I was so stressed out and burned out. I had Lyme disease, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, went through a long divorce, took care of both my parents until they passed, had many injuries, and signs along the way looking back that said, whoa, your life has no life in it and is way out of whack. Yeah. Signs that I was heading on that high-speed train to burnout, but I never saw it coming. We can have a lifetime of that behind us, that work hard, push hard, and it gets so ingrained that that's our go-to. Immediately upon losing everything, I went into a state of fear like I had never been in. And I had been through many challenges, but I always bounced back really easy. And this time, I wasn't sure if I would ever bounce back.
Wow. I mean, just that phrase in and of itself, that I wasn't sure if I would ever bounce back. And that is, I mean, so powerful. I think one of the pieces that you just spoke to was that push through mentality, right? And I think so many people have that thought. It's like we just push through. We just keep pushing through. And we don't really realize all the flags that had, all the warning signs, our body telling us or our emotions telling us that we were experiencing this because we were in that space.
Yeah. And we're so conditioned to suck it up
Yeah.
and go on. And I had that belief and feeling it rip from me, like, if it's to be, it's up to me. And now I'm gone. It wasn't, I actually didn't really care about myself if I made it or not, because I literally had no life left. But I was concerned that there were millions of people who relied on what I felt was me because I was the leader of what I had been doing with my team and all the people. And without me, I felt like it was going to fall apart. And that weight of the world, I couldn't let go. I could not let go. So I spent the first year fighting that occurred. None of it was true. None of it was legitimate. It was a political move. And I knew the political move was coming, but I didn't know how it was going to hit me. And I thought, oh, I'll be fine. I'll just deal with whatever happens. And I even told people on my staff, they're going to get rid of me. I don't know what it's going to look like, but wow. And everyone that I had left in my life were people from work. They were told, all these people who worked under me, if you ever speak to her again, ever, you will lose your job too. And I think I had real good training for the pandemic ahead of time. The isolation was unreal.
I can't even imagine. I mean, what a powerful story. But I think that piece of that isolation, but here you are trying to manage through all this experience and what's going on, and not having, it sounds like not having, a support person or someone to help, frame it for you or to talk to about it, because they had also been threatened. And so what was the first step of you coming out of that? So you said that first year was really fighting back and this isn't happening, or this isn't kind of the questioning of whether this is happening.
Denial.
Yes. But what was your next step into more of a recovery space?
What allowed me to leave that space was becoming okay, not being okay. I had to feel like, because that was really uncomfortable for me to feel uncomfortable. I mean, I had been through like illnesses and injuries that I was just like, okay, this is all right. I can do this. And yet this time I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I had to become okay and admit that I wasn't okay. Went against everything I had been trained and done for my whole life.
Right. Was there a way that you were able to find that? Was that something you discovered on your own? Did you have help in discovering? Like, how did you get to that place where you were able to say, it's okay for me to not be okay?
Yes. My help actually started with like Oprah on her Super Soul Sunday, watching that on TV.
Yes. Love Oprah. Yeah.
Of course, those of us who are control freaks who push life like that, we don't ask for help. So then I reached out and asked for help. I went to counseling. Since then, I've always had coaches, but I started with going back to counseling. And I had to let go of everything I didn't control. And that was another big one. When we think we can control things and we fight to control them, it ends up being a fight, a push. We're shoving the cart uphill with a horse that's not even working anymore. And we don't see it, but I saw the results of it and went, wow, like then I went into my overthinking mind and went, I can't believe I did this. And I didn't like take care of myself. I didn't, it wasn't until I got into health coach training that the next step came into effect. And that was making a list at the age of 58 of what is the most important things in your life, the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on the list anywhere. Wasn't even on the list.
Yeah.
I had to take time to take care of myself because my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, they were gone. The only thing driving me was what I call my spiritual health or energy. And without that, I'm pretty sure I would have been dead or not made it.
Yeah. I think you said something that's so important, and I want to illustrate for our listeners again and want them, to consider this as well, is that if you were to make a list of the top 5 things that are important in your life, would you be on it? And if you're not, put yourself on it and make sure that you're there, because that is so important. So I would love, Kathy, I know you experience life very differently now. So how do you make sure that you're on that list now?
My list is very important now because I think what I've seen as I started taking care of myself was at the time how much better I can be with because I hadn't realized that all the relationships that I had lost in my life were really me not being there and not being present. And that was by not taking care of myself. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And we all need connection, especially in today's world. It's so important to stay connected. And when we take care of us physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever serves you, do whatever serves you. Something makes you feel good, do more of that. Things that don't make you feel good, do less. I have a thing that I do, and it's an energy study, and it's like one side feeds, one side sucks. And you put the things down. What feeds my energy? You know what makes you feel good? What sucks my energy away? If you just take one more thing in your life when you're feeling that inability to even get out of bed and say, let me do just one thing from the feeds my energy today. And that's more than enough. That's plenty. Do that one because all the other stuff will follow. Because over time, I surf almost every morning now. That's how I feed my energy. I also know that we can live in this state of meditation where life is peaceful and we don't react to everything like we do. And we're stressed and burned out. We're reacting. We are not responding. And when we don't react, things go smooth and we're able to listen inside to what we know. Because my clients tell me all the time, wow, I found out I really knew a lot more about what to do than what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. It's amazing when we quiet our mind just a little bit, what it allows us to hear.
Yeah. It's incredible. And it doesn't take as much work. Now I help people to not do life the hard way because that hard way is ingrained in us and it becomes our comfort zone. But the hard way of push, the hard way of manage, because I had never really seen my negative thinking in my life for some reason. And when I started studying the mind and saw it, then I went into, I got to manage it. Oh my gosh, you can't manage the monkey mind and you don't need to, because every emotion comes from a thought that you don't need to see or not. But if we can see our feeling and we feel anxious and we just go on to, well, let me make a cup of tea or let me sit down for a minute and look outside, not any amount of time, just switch your focus to something else, the feeling passes. So when I was feeling so devastated and so hopeless, and I started to focus on, let me go take the dog for a walk, that was enough. I came back not feeling devastated, because the kind of thoughts that pass through our mind, about 70,000 a day, are varied and we can choose. I found the only thing that I did control was the thoughts that I chose to focus on. I could watch them all from the cheap seats of the theater on the screen of my life and go, wow, I'm going to have some crazy thinking. That's okay. It's part of being human. We're all human and we got to embrace that. We're pretty dang funny.
Yeah.
But I don't have to focus on those ones. And when I don't, it's much easier for me to do the second thing I control, and that's take action. Whether it's getting up and getting your kids off to school, or saying, I think I need to get a job now. I need some money. But coming from that state of, okay, what do I do next? Versus, wow, I got to start life over. Oh, that is so huge. Like, don't even look at that weight. Like, you can look at one small step, because every step is the journey.
I like that. A couple of things I want to highlight and just bring us back to for our listeners is that the energy assessment that you mentioned. And I, not one that I had thought about. I do lots of like kind of self-assessment throughout the day, self-reflection throughout the day, but really taking stock of what brings us energy and what drains our energy and connecting with that each day. And then using that almost as a recovery method. So choosing from the side of what brings us energy or what, ignites our energy. I love that. And then I think the other piece of just, taking general stock in your life and the two things you can control, right? So the thoughts you focus on and what you take action in is so important for when we are embarking on a journey to get back from recovery.
Right. And a journey to get better. We can come out better than ever, because my life now is better than ever, and not without challenges, but it's just a different way of dealing with the challenges. And sure, we're all going to go to that space that we were comfortable in all our life, but I see myself going into, oh, wait a minute, I'm pushing too hard, and I back off sooner. And I love when a client comes to me and they go, wow, I see myself before I start spinning out. And I'm able to do something because it just comes to me what to do. And I have a technique. I'm not big into any technique until you just try it yourself, because do what works for you, more of what serves you. But it's a very simple way to navigate life, because I had to simplify my life. I overcomplicated everything. And it's called warm or colder. So when you get up each day, even when you're looking at your energy study, that your list you have, like when you do something, is that warmer or colder? Like imagine you're walking down a buffet line of food and you take little samples on your plate and you take a bite. You're either going to go, oh, I want another bite. Or you're going to go, well, maybe I'll try a little more. Or you're going to go, oh, that was horrible. And that would be colder. Don't go that way, because there's no direct way or place you have to get to in a certain time that going that way, long run, you're going to end up feeling much better because you're constantly feeding you and all of your energy in a way that makes it real simple to navigate. And when it feels colder, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's like, I try tons of things that people could say, wow, that failed. Well, those are colder. It's not that way. Let me try something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But practice that in your life as you go about with things. Because when we can quiet our mind enough, and we don't have to stop our mind. I had a busy mind my whole life, but I always heard the voice telling me what to do. I just didn't listen, especially in the last year before I got where I was, nor in the year following. That was 2 years that I really wasn't going to listen to that.
Yeah.
And looking back, I go, wow, if I'd have been just playing warmer, colder, instead of trying to think it all through all the time about everything, warmer, colder will tell you, okay, this is time to use my headspace that's logical. Let me get in there and take a look at this. But it tells us all that.
Yeah.
And we can listen and we can trust. That gives us in the moment. Like each moment of your burnout recovery, you're going to get something different that you need.
Yeah. What an excuse me, what an awesome technique. Of course it makes me think of the, game that you might have played as kids, might still play with, of like hidden object and like warmer, colder, freezing cold. But I love that. And I love the image. I love the image of the buffet of trying little, bites of things. And it's like, nope, that's not working for me, or that didn't taste so good, or yes, I would like to try that again. And what a great way of assessing for yourself, listeners, like what is working best for you. I am absolutely loving the insights you're giving us, Kathy. And if you are too, make sure that you subscribe and follow and share this with a friend so that they can get this amazing information as well. Before we move into our recovery moment, Kathy, I would love to offer you an opportunity what is one piece of advice that you would like to share with our audience members?
I think my piece of advice would be kind to yourself. You are in a perfect place for you right here, right now, no matter what it looks like outside of you. It's where you're meant to be. We don't always like where we are, but when we can treat ourselves kindly and gently, and just know that each day we and every human being does the best they can, no matter what it looks like, you're doing it now. Be nice to yourself and celebrate that.
Yeah, I love that. Listeners, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and celebrate yourself. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can our listeners find out more about you?
You can find me on Instagram at We Are Rising Tides, or my website, wearerisingtides.com.
Awesome. And we'll put both of those links in the show notes for you all to connect with Kathy. Thank you so much, Kathy, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Kate. It was a pleasure. I loved being here and getting to share in your conversation. And I hope all you guys that listened, I hope you're listening to Dr. Kate all the time, because she has some fabulous ways that are going to greatly help you in your recovery. And I hope you got something good today to help you go ahead from me also. So have a great day.
Thank you for joining us. That was so amazing. And again, thank you to Kathy for joining us and her perspective on burnout and recovery and being kind to yourself. Today, for our recovery moment, we are going to focus on finding our strength and confidence. So go ahead and get yourself ready. Of course, with all of our recovery moments, I want to make sure that you are in a safe space. So if that is not you right now and you're not able to comfortably do this right now, go ahead and hit pause and come back to this recovery moment when you have a moment to do that. Go ahead and get yourself into a comfortable sitting posture. Take a few deep breaths. And as you breathe in and out, allow your eyes to become heavy and then close. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out. One more in through your nose and out. And in through your nose and out. As you continue to breathe deeply, connect with your body. Are there any areas that feel tense or tight? On your next breath, allow those spots to soften and relax. Feel your weight relax into your chair or wherever you're sitting. Now, imagine yourself in a difficult situation. It may be something coming up that is bringing some fear or anxiety, or something you went through in the recent past. Recognize any fear or aversion that is present as you bring this event to mind. Maybe you want to ask for a raise, need to have a difficult conversation with a loved one, or have an upcoming appointment that is bringing some worry. Rather than playing out the story in your head, ask yourself, what is the strongest version of yourself, and what would they do to handle it? Picture your strong self handling the situation with complete kindness, care, mindfulness, patience, and wisdom. Watch as they handle the situation and revel in the glory that they are achieving. As you visualize the situation in your head, make special effort to notice the strength within you. Allow yourself to feel strong and confident. When you begin doubting yourself, return back to the strong you. Reconnect your intentions of wisdom and compassion in the face of difficulties. You can continue with one experience, playing it through multiple times, each time witnessing your strongest self getting stronger and better, kinder. You can also try working with a different situation or event. Continue to connect with the strength you have within you. Remember to breathe deeply and watch for any anxiety or worry. Take a breath in through your nose and out. In through your nose and out. One more, in through your nose and out. Allow yourself to come back to your present space, bringing with you the strength and confidence from that very, very strong you, knowing that you can take on that situation and others with calm, kindness, grace, compassion, mindfulness, and care. Dear listeners, I encourage you, after completing that exercise, to maybe write about your experience. Writing down those feelings and connection of strength and confidence will help you crystallize those feelings. It will help you crystallize that look of yourself as the strongest you. And it can help you clarify how you might handle painful experiences. As always, remember, for more recovery moments, you can follow me at Dr. Kate Steiner on Instagram and subscribe to the From Burnout to Recovery Show YouTube channel. I am grateful to our guest, Kathy Murphy. Don't forget, you can reach out to her on Instagram at We Are Rising Tides, or her website at wearerisingtides.com. I am so grateful to each of you for listening and joining me today. Thank you for joining me and my guest, Kathy, on the From Burnout to Recovery show with Dr. Kate on Transformation Talk Radio. I am Dr. Kate, and I wish you peace on your journey. Thank you for joining me on the front porch today. And remember, if you want to take a look at your current level of burnout, be sure to take the Feeling Crispy quiz on my website, drkatesteiner.com. Be well, my friends. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Kate, on the From Burnout to Recovery show, where you are starting your journey to burnout recovery. You are invited to join me on the front porch every second and fourth Friday of the month on transformationtalkradio.com to continue growing in resilience and integrating recovery into your daily life. If you would like to learn more or find out how to work with me, visit liftwellnessconsulting.com.